Anchor's a great way to start podcasting today. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's free. There's creation tools that let you record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. It'll distribute your podcast for you so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast too with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. Now, back to the show. My name is David Somerfleck. For over 20 years, I worked as a digital marketing agency project manager and consultant, where I helped business owners go from failure and ruin to reinvesting profits. Now I'm interviewing other experts and professionals to find out what makes them tick and get their thoughts on how you can learn from their experiences and revitalize your life professionally and personally. We cover topics as wide ranging as digital marketing, business innovation, culture, global trends, and ways we can all better channel our creativity. So let's join the discussion. Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning into another episode. In this episode, we're taking your questions. So today we're taking a question from Ninu. So I'm going to go ahead and take a step back and let her ask her question and then come back and answer it.
How do you know if digital marketing is working for you? And what is the best way to find out what form of digital marketing works best for your business?
Okay, thanks for your question, Ninu. So, how do you know? Well, first of all, we're going to break your question answer into two parts because you basically asked two questions here. How do you know if digital marketing is working for you? And then how do you find out what form of digital marketing works best for your business? So let's break that down. How do you know if digital marketing is working for you? Well, basically, what you want to do, Ninu, is look for several factors. So, what you really want to do is obviously your business should be increasing in revenue. You should be generating more phone calls, more emails from customers or clients who want to work with you. You should be taking more payments through your company website. So if that's not happening for you, then we need to look at why is that not happening for you. So where's that breakdown happening? So when you ask, how do you know if digital marketing is working for you? Well, you know if it's working for you if as a result, you're receiving more phone calls from interested parties, you're receiving more emails from people who want to work with you or buy from you, you're processing more payments through your company's e-commerce platform, you're getting other factors occurring as well. So let's get into that. So for SEO stands for search engine optimization and is how you outrank competitors in online search. So that's going to appear in Google search results. Usually that's going to be local. So in SEO, you would want to look for your Google ranking. Does your website show up on the first page of Google search results for your type of business in the city and state where you live? If it doesn't, then something's going on with the SEO where it's not working properly. Usually, you want your SEO to focus in on local. What does that mean? Well, for example, if you are a pediatric dentist, a dentist who works only with children, and you work in Brooklyn, New York, just as an example. Well, your website SEO should be pediatric dentistry, Brooklyn, New York, or Brooklyn, New York pediatric dentist. That's what your SEO should be. And if you have a lot of competition in that area, which is possible, I don't know, then you would add your zip code to make it even more local. So in SEO, you want to look at your Google rankings to see if your business is on that first page of Google search results for your city and state for what you do. You also want to check and see, is it listed in Google My Business, which is their business directory. And are you doing everything you can to build that out as well? So for Google, you want to look at what's called your SERPs, SERPs. That stands for your search engine results pages. So you want to see, does it rank in the first page of Google? If it doesn't, you're probably not getting much traction from Google. The next thing you want to do is check the company website. And you want to look at such things as your bounce rate. Your bounce rate is basically how many people come to your website, look at it for a second or two, and then just say, and they go on to a competitor website. So if your bounce rate is very high, then it means people are looking at your website and not really doing anything or just going somewhere else. There are different plugins that you can use for WordPress websites that will help you see what your bounce rate is or the time that a visitor spends on the main page of your website. You also want to look at the number of page views as opposed to return visits, people who are coming back 2 or 3 times, or if someone's looking at multiple pages of your company website. That's encouraging. You also want to look at how many people are subscribing to your newsletter or sending you emails to receive downloads so that you're building email addresses for a list or that you're just getting a lot of interest on your company website. And you also want to look at your email as far as what are the open rates. How many people are actually opening the emails and reading them. And there are different programs and email providers who will tell you that information. So you want to look at those things as well. And at the end of the day, digital marketing should be about building a business. And that's why, in my opinion, as somebody who's worked for marketing and ad agencies for well over 20 years, I'm not a big fan of free do-it-yourself template builders. Why is that? It's simply because, in my personal view, and based on what I've seen working with so many hundreds of clients, I've never met one yet who was generating regularly recurring revenue using a free do-it-yourself template. And I think the reason for that primarily is if you are not already an expert in digital marketing, how are you going to know what your SEO should be, what your content should be, what you should be writing about, how you should be writing it? You may not know how to add the proper backlinks or external links or internal links. You may not know all of that. You may not understand how to add SEO to your website properly or what to write about. You may not understand content repurposing, or you may just not have time for it. And you may not know about proper design so that your website looks and responds the same way on whatever device the consumer is using, which is called responsive design. You may not be familiar with user experience, which is called UX for short, and is very important. So user experience is basically how easy it is or how hard it is to find what they're looking for on your website. So a great example of user experience is if you look at a website like the IRS's website. or Walmart, for example, it could be difficult to find something you're looking for, or it could be very easy depending on which website you look at or what you're trying to find. User experience is making it as easy as possible for your intended uh, customer or ideal customer to find what they're looking for and answering their problems. So, unless you're already an expert in how to put all of these different elements together and you have time to do it, it's going to be very, very difficult to put all of this together into a free do it yourselfer template, which may or may not be good enough. Um, and have everything that you need to put that in, if that makes sense. It may not have the capability. A lot of free do it yourself templates don't have the capability for you to customize the design very much, or they don't have the capability for you to adjust the SEO or make different changes when you want to do it. So that's where experts come in. So unless you're already an expert, you may not know what to do, and it just increases the problems where you're trying to do work that you may not understand using tools that may not be up for the job. So that's why I'm not a big fan of do it yourself when it comes to marketing. Now, if this is for a hobby that you don't need to make more money, you want to, you would like to, but you don't need to do it, then you can have fun and you can mess around with a free do it yourself template. You could take 5 years to learn how to do it. You can read different tutorials and just have fun with it as an ongoing hobby. But if it's something that your family is counting on you to bring home money and pay the mortgage or pay the rent and pay bills, then to me that's a serious business, and that's where you would invest to work with a professional to help you accelerate growth more quickly and really help you get more done in less time. Now, as far as also some other points on knowing whether or not digital marketing is working for you, yeah, your phone should be ringing more. You should be getting more emails. Your email should be getting open more often. You should be receiving more emails. Your website should be getting more visits. But you should also, other factors that you could be looking at, I would say, is in a lot of cases, a lot of new or small business owners don't know what to look for. They don't know what metrics they should be setting, what to be looking for. So there's a thing called KPIs, which are key performance indicators, that when you define them, they tell you very clearly, this is what I want, this is what I need. So I need this to be done by this deadline. And then you would give this information to the professional and discuss it with them and say, is this realistic? Can I do this? What budget do I need to set aside in order to accomplish these key performance indicators or KPIs? Are these realistic? Can I do them? So some examples of KPIs, key performance indicators, could be, if it's a nonprofit organization, increasing donations by 5% within the next 3 months, as one example. It could be a gym increasing enrollments by 15% within the next 4 to 6 months. It could be increasing the views of your website by 10%, within the next 30 days, for as some examples. Now, you can set these KPIs, but you have to enable them to take place. You have to let them happen. So that means, A, you have to relinquish control to the expert to get them to help you. But then also you have to decide, well, what's my marketing budget going to be so I can advertise this business on Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, maybe advertising on other social media platforms. You could advertise on Hulu now and reach, potentially millions of people overnight. So you would need to set aside a marketing budget in order to accomplish that. You would also need to set aside a social media marketing budget, which is usually referred to as PPC or pay per click advertising. So it's a whole other galaxy of things here. So, in a nutshell, to summarize this, how do you know if digital marketing is working for you? You know it's working for you if you're getting more phone calls from people who want to work with you. You know it's working if you're getting more emails from people interested in your products or services. And you know it's working for you if your website is getting more visits, also called hits. So that's how you know if digital marketing is working for you. Now, how do you find out what form of digital marketing works best for your business? So that was the other part of your question. And basically, there's really only one type of digital marketing. Now, other people in the digital marketing space may disagree with me. And if they disagree with me, that's wonderful. You can go to www.askdms.blue and leave me a message. And I'm happy to respond to any opinions that disagree or support a different view. But to me, there's only one type of digital marketing. And digital marketing is basically online marketing using digital tools. So we're talking about using the company website as a portal. If we look at government agencies and businesses years ago, they used to call their company website a portal. Now, the reason for that was because everything would go through the portal. You would go to the company or nonprofit or government agency website, and you would go through the website to download forms, to submit data or information, to download, HR forms, to clock in, to take training, to register for needed workshops or to take attendance or communicate with staff members or anything that you can think of that usually would take place in a business. So it always was expected that a website would do more than just sit on the internet and just show you a brochure. So to me, digital marketing, there's only one kind. And it uses different tools or component parts, which are, as we discussed earlier, SEO to help you rank in search results. There's e-commerce to allow you to take payments online. There's content marketing, which is regularly writing new content that speaks to the needs of your intended ideal customers. There's email automation, which gives your ideal customers email newsletters or special promotions or other offerings on a regular recurring basis. It could even be coupons and things of this nature. There's branding. Branding refers to how your website, but also all the other offerings, how they look and communicate across the internet. So a great example of branding would be you don't want your website to look a certain way and have certain colors and certain fonts and logos, but then your email to look different, or your newsletter to look different, or your business card to look different, or your video ads to look completely different. You want everything to be streamlined and look and feel the same because then it communicates more professionalism. Then there's other factors that go into digital marketing as well, such as social media marketing, which to many people is internet marketing, but it's really not. Social media marketing to me is not responding to people on social media. You can, but to me, social media marketing primarily is for a business submitting your content, promoting your content, engaging in business related discussions on social media. So for me, when it comes to digital marketing, social media should be discussing your business, answering business questions, promoting special offers, discounts, coupons, your blog posts, your videos, your podcast, guest appearances, and so on through social media, as well as advertisements that go through social media. So there's only one type of digital marketing to me, and that's the kind that has all of these component parts going through it. So I hope that this information is helpful to you. If you have more specific questions, such as how do you determine a digital marketing budget, or anything else, if you have a follow up question, feel free to submit it as well. I'm happy to respond. So, thanks to everyone watching or listening, and I hope this has been very helpful. Thanks for tuning in to the David Somerfleck Podcast. If you would like to apply to be a guest on the podcast or would like to ask a question we may use in a future episode, please go to www.dms.blue/podcast guest. Thanks again for tuning in and hope to meet you in the next episode.